was an abrupt ending. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Open Diner. We're here with another session. Thank you for joining. And our topic today is, have we given up on happiness? Well, as you might know, human beings, you may or may have noticed that human beings are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. At least I am. By nature, deep down, all we want to be is happy. Our brain chemistry is designed to support these efforts by releasing chemicals into our brain that make us feel good. Specifically, serotonin and dopamine are the two chemicals. And we have been making these efforts towards happiness for many generations. We try to get there by acquiring more and more stuff, a bigger house, the latest cell phone, a better car, or by acquiring more honor, prestige, power, trying to build a legacy for ourselves, make ourselves more respectable in the eyes of others. And we try to be happy by controlling and manipulating others, unfortunately. Or we can also get there through knowledge by learning, reading, acquiring information. So, but now we're at a point in history, I think, where there's seemingly nothing more that we can really acquire. We're at a point where any knowledge is really readily available to us in seconds through the internet. It's amazing how the information technology is just right there. We have the most advanced technology, cell phones, cars. Our houses or apartments are equipped with automated devices, virtual assistants, robots that vacuum for us. Human beings are really the most advanced that we have ever been, but we're also the most unhappy that we've ever been. Every year around the world, about 800,000 people take their own lives. And even worse, suicide is one of the leading causes of death among young people. So we're raising an unhappy generation there. We're in the middle of a mental health crisis. Social workers, psychologists, and counselors can't keep up with the unrelenting demand for their services. And many have to turn away patients, including children who are desperate for support. Divorce is on the rise also. The pandemic has highlighted and intensified many existing relationship and personal problems that could no longer be avoided. So the question is, why are we so unhappy when we seemingly have the best of everything right now? It's a golden era for anything. Why do shopping and buying new stuff no longer satisfy us? Maybe we're standing at a crossroads of a new era where material abundance is fading out, and we need to redefine what it means to be happy. So we're going to talk about that today. And as usual, this is a cameras on event. So if everyone could kindly turn on your cameras, that would be great. We find that it helps to connect to each other, and it gives you an opportunity to really benefit from this event. And some of the activities that we will be doing require being able to see each other. So if you're joining on Facebook or YouTube, welcome. Let us know your name, where you're from, participate, answer questions in the comments, and we'll try to read them during the show. And I'm going to turn it over to Roberta.
Thank you, Gary. Hi, everybody. Okay, so we're going to be doing an introduction game here to get to know each other. So we'd like everyone to introduce themselves, and we're going to do it in a very special way, like I said today. I have a smile here in my hand. I'll take it off my face, and it's in my hand now. We're going to introduce ourselves by saying our name, where we're from, and I'm going to start, and I'll show you how this works. And then I'm going to take this smile, and I'm going to throw it to the next person, and the next person's going to take that smile, put it on their face, say your name, where you're from, and then so on and so on. Pick someone that didn't get a smile, and you say, well, how are we going to know who didn't get a smile? Everybody take the smile off their face. I can leave it on, someone to go first. And it's difficult. So no smiles. And I'm going to start off, and you'll get the gist of it. So I'm going to take my smile, and I'm going to take my smile. I'm going to throw it. My name's Roberta from Long Island, New York, Huntington. And I'm going to take it. I'm going to throw it to Gary. Oh, he caught it. And look at that. Landed right in his hand. Just unmute yourself, Gary.
That would help, huh?
A little bit.
So I have a smile. I caught it, put it on my face. I'm going to take the smile and throw it to Paula.
Thank you, Gary. I'm Paula from New York. I'm going to throw my smile to Elisa.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you. I'm Elisa from Brooklyn, New York. And I will throw my smile to Dan.
Thanks, Lisa. I'm Dan from Burlington, Ontario, Canada. And I will throw my smile to Nina.
Thank you, Dan. I'm Nina from New York, and I'm throwing my smile to Linda. Just unmute, dear.
Yeah, I think my cat caught it. I'm Linda from upstate New York, and I am going to throw my smile to Rono.
Oops. Thank you, Linda. I just got it. Rono from Rotterdam in Europe, and I'm throwing my smile to Lana A.
Hello, is that me?
Actually, Alana A, but it's close. Alana, okay, you'll go next, I'm sure.
Is it me?
Yes, Alana A.
Hi, I'm Elana from Brooklyn, New York, and I'm throwing my smile to Elana, another Elana.
Helena, you're next. Grab that smile, tell us where you're from.
Hi, I'm from Portugal, but I'm calling from London, across the pond.
Beautiful. And the gist of the game was to throw it to somebody else. I don't know who didn't get a smile. Maybe, I know you just joined it. Who didn't get a smile? Oh, Carl. Would you like to throw a snot? Oh, Carl?
Whoever wants my smile can have it.
No, I got it. Thank you, Elaine. My name is Carl. I'm from Florida. And Abby, if you can catch the smile, I'm throwing my smile to you. I'm sure she got it. Yep, she's smiling.
Yep, she said, I think she said she's from New York City. And she's smiling. I can see it through the text. Or not. I'm sure she's smiling. Did anybody not get a smile and introduce themselves? Okay, I think we're all good. Okay, so we're going to actually move on to actually something even more fun than this. Now we got to know each other, but now we're going to get to know a little bit more about each other with a nice icebreaker game. We're going to travel in time.
First we have just a couple announcements we have to throw in here just to keep everybody honest.
Okay.
We're here at Open Diner, and at Open Diner, we are here to create a supportive environment where everyone connects above their differences. Stay on topic, avoid politics, criticism, anything negative. We have a reminder to mute your microphone when you're not speaking so we can minimize the background noise. And if you can turn on your cameras, it'll allow you to fully benefit from this event. And it's really nice to have all the cameras on. Please remember to keep your answers brief so everyone gets a chance to speak. And again, if you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube, please participate, answer questions in the comments. We'll be together during this event. And now we can go to Roberta for the icebreaker.
Okay, thank you, Gary. So we're going to play an icebreaker game. Now we're going to travel in time. Picture we have a time machine. So if you go to any period in time, any period in history, use your imagination, wishful thinking about maybe even the future. We're going to take turns describing an era, historical period, a social movement maybe that you would have loved to have been part of, you'd like to visit, if it's possible. Maybe even the Renaissance, the Stone Age, maybe the pirates or Shakespearean performers, anything goes. And you get a bonus points. Anyone's willing to act out their chosen time travel period of character or character. So whoever would like to go first, remember we have a time machine. If you could go anywhere, tell us where would you go right now if you could go? Briefly, tell us. Whoever wants to go first, please.
Well, since we're talking about the beginning, I would love to check out the Big Bang.
Interesting, interesting. Who else would like to travel in time? Anywhere, futuristic, past.
I'd like to go to the dinosaur age. I think it was maybe 100 million years ago, just for a quick glimpse. Just for a few minutes though, and that's it.
You would be lunch.
I'd like to go back to the time of King David. Not to mention all the wives that you were allowed to have back then, that it was common. But I think it was a really serious time. For some reason, I feel like it was a time when the meaning of life was really on a lot of people's minds, like why we're here. And they were really serious about that and trying to figure it out.
I see Helena, your hand is, you wrote, yeah. Sure, just speak. You can just open your mic.
Yeah, I would like to go back to the 60s.
Why?
Just the flower power, and everyone was happy.
Yeah. Cool time.
I'll agree
Well,
with you.
Helena.
Yeah, go ahead, Linda.
Well, Helena, that's what I chose too, the 60s. I was a teenager then, living in uptown Manhattan. And, you know, it was a great time hanging out in Greenwich Village and just, you know, as a teenager, you know, living with my parents, I had, you know, no problems.
I think you said you had no pot. I guess in the 60s, that wouldn't be a problem.
I said I was hang out in Greenwich Village.
Yeah, I love that time too. I mean, that was like idyllic for me. The people were great, the music was great, everything was just, it was really a wonderful time. But I would also like, I would more like to go into the future. I don't know if many of you know this, but 2022 is the year that George Jetson will be born later this year. So I would like to see what things are like in like 50 or 100 years from now. And hopefully they'll be better, and hopefully everybody will be getting along.
I liked the 1980s actually. I same type of thing like Linda. It was, you know, I was very young and lived with my family, and the whole technology thing was beginning and it was exciting at the time. Now it's boring. I hate to say artificial intelligence is not exciting. But yeah, it was exciting. It was a new time that we didn't kind of came out of nowhere.
I actually like the 90s because I think that some may disagree with me, but I think the music was the best in the 90s. Rock and roll music in the 90s is my favorite era, and I was too young to appreciate it back then. But I actually don't want to go back in history at all. I would much rather go into the future, like Gary, to a time where everyone is getting along and there are no more divisions between Republicans and Democrats, Trump supporters, Biden supporters, vaccination, pro, against, no more. Everyone is on the same page.
Well, you know, I know the questions I was thinking about, and I said, maybe because I watched the movie the other day, The Great Gatsby, I was thinking about the Roaring 20s. Of course, I would have to be in the rich era, you know, like the Duesenbergs and, you know, no prohibition and everything was a party. And, you know, actually the pandemic, I didn't know this. I watched a documentary. They were saying that the Roaring 20s came about because of the Spanish flu was in the 1918. So when it ended in the 20s, it became the Roaring 20s because everybody was, you know, not sick and everybody was able to go out and party, and it seems like a good time. So I go with that for now. Or the time of Jesus. So you see how my mind goes, either Jesus's time or the Roaring 20s. Would anybody else like to add?
Well, you mentioned, Spain, but in different contexts. But I would go to medieval Spain, not that because everything was hunky-dory there and pretty and beautiful, but at the same time, there was a period of time when Christians, Muslims, and Jews lived in, sort of harmony, were able to develop astronomy and sciences flourished, and it was an amazing time. And just to learn how is it possible to live in cooperation and contribute to the society, to humanity, to science, to art, amazing art, when everything you have from different cultures are woven in the architecture, in everything. That was an amazing period of time.
I think I would like to go to two places. First, I would like to go to Russia before the Soviet Union was created, before revolution, maybe, to see what the life was in there, like people could travel, and I'm very curious to see what life was at that time. And now that I've heard you, I would like to go to United States and be in United States in 60s, because I really would like to see what it was before, because I came here in 1990. So.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing. Who else? We have some time. Maybe after hearing other people, you say, you know what? I want to go here. Anybody else want to add? If you didn't speak, please do. If you have already, we have some time if you'd like to chime in with something.
I think about going into the past, and a lot of times we have these romantic ideas about what it was like and all these wonderful things. But, I read things about how, a lot of those times where, sanitation wasn't so good. People didn't smell so good. Hygiene was, forget about it. And to me, it just, that's why I'd rather go into the future. But, the past is interesting. Unless you go back, like Rona, go back to the Big Bang. Everything was pretty hygienic then, I think.
Gary mentioned that it wasn't that pretty, but in the past. And I just remembered an amazing novel, hardly, I recommend it highly, by Boris and Arkady Strugatsky, Hard to be a God. It's exactly a travel back that, it's unbelievable with every details, Gary, you envision of what's, going back could be not that pretty. And at the same time, it's awesome.
Excellent. Jacob, would you maybe like to add? If you could go back in time, any era or maybe the future.
Well, the past is dead. So happiness has to do with now, being fully present with all the senses activated and beyond. And then you're in ecstasy. So the past is dead. To live in the past is to deny happiness.
Well, that's why
you will get pleasure, though, if that's what you're after. You will get pleasure, but pleasure is a poor substitute for happiness.
Well, since the past
and
is
with
dead,
pleasure comes pain, comes sorrow, because the end of pleasure, because pleasure is temporary, has a beginning and the ending of pleasure is sorrow. So you'll be like in a roller coaster, pleasure, sorrow, pleasure, sorrow, pleasure, sorrow. You'll never be at happiness.
True. Well, thank you for sharing. And we have a lot about this tonight. Exactly. Happiness and the ups and downs of life and where we are today. So everybody, thank you for sharing. And I'm going to hand it back to Gary.
Thank you. And following that really makes you think, and it really is an interesting topic. Everybody always fantasizes about the past and the future, and it's really fun to really share that kind of a thing. But now we're going to go to our main feature, our video. And so it's a video about happiness, of course. So if Rono, if you could roll that for us, please. According to a new report, the coronavirus is no longer the world's #1 concern. Apparently, it has been replaced by poverty and unemployment. And after those three, the report says that the world is worried about crime, education, climate change, and immigration. Humanity seems so confused and burned out that it makes you wonder if it is concerned about anything anymore. And it is not due to the lack of problems, but because there is no goal to attain. If there are no goals, there are no aspirations. And if there are no aspirations, there is nothing to live for. Has the world given up on happiness? We must first recognize that the whole world is interconnected, as evidenced by the numerous global crises. Personal happiness that ignores the happiness of the rest of society is a prerogative we no longer have. Once we realize how connected we all are, we won't even dream of being happy or even content until every person in the world and every being in existence also feels that way. This may be difficult to face, but realizing this is the first step toward achieving happiness. Therefore, we must come to define happiness as the happiness of everyone, or at least begin to think in those terms. Only if we move in this direction will we make real progress towards happiness, and this will have the support of the entire society. You can't have healthy and content people in one place while people elsewhere feel miserable. Today, unless everyone is well, no one will be well. This is true not only of the virus, but of air, water, wealth, and every other aspect of life. It is safe to assume that everyone's goal is to be happy. However, when we each have our own idea of what happiness is, with only our own happiness in mind, we go our own way and end up unhappy, burned out, and we eventually give up on happiness altogether. If all that it took to make us happy was buying another toy, a house, a new car, we wouldn't see over 100,000 Americans dying of overdose in a single year. We wouldn't see so much violence, so much depression, so much hatred and division. The first thing we need to do is to define what we consider to be the most important thing in life and how we want to achieve it. Then we can determine what will help or hinder us in achieving that goal. Once we realize that everyone's happiness should be our goal and start working towards it, life will improve not only for everyone, but for the entire planet. If we are convinced that we must look after the well-being of all people, then we must make sure that they do not suffer from pollution, that they have clean water and air, that they have sufficient energy and food, and that their health, housing, and education are cared for. As a result, we will use our resources more efficiently and consume only what is necessary, out of consideration for everyone else's well-being. The world can provide for everyone abundantly. There is no shortage of anything. In fact, there is surplus. So why are people hungry, thirsty, sick, homeless? Why are they not getting decent education and decent health care? It is because we don't care about each other. We don't need regulations and conferences to which world leaders fly in private jets that pollute the atmosphere just so they can make meaningless speeches. We will regulate ourselves because of our awareness that our own happiness depends on the happiness of everyone else. In other words, we will achieve sustainability and build a happy life for ourselves if we focus not on preventing pollution and curbing emissions, but on mutual consideration and caring for each other. This is the only way everyone can find sustainability and happiness in today's world.
Okay. What a great video. I know it cut off just at the end a little bit, but I have to say to Gary, I know the voice sounds familiar. He's the one that actually made that video, edited, produced it, the whole thing himself. So nice round of to Gary. So we're going to go on to our roundtable discussion, but first we do etiquette rules. This is of open diner. This makes a good conversation when we have some kind of, you could say rules, I say tools, but we're here to build a space of support, love and care and warmth. And I was thinking of Carl. Carl was saying in the Renaissance, not the Renaissance, but the medieval times, let's say, they had a round table. Everybody was equal. So picture we're at a round table, which we're going to do tonight. And everybody's important. There's no head to the table. So we're going to go around the table, speak briefly on the topic that we have tonight with the questions. We're going to listen attentively. And there's no right or wrong answers. I know a lot of times we're always quick to say, yes, I know this. But a lot of times, if you listen to the person before you, you'll get an idea actually what to say. A lot of times you say, I didn't think of that. You know, we're always quick to jump and say, I have the answer. But that's why we always go around the table. We listen briefly. There's no right or wrong answers. And the truth will be found in our connection. So let's enjoy this great discussion we have tonight. I'm going to hand it back over to Gary.
Thank you. So we have two questions tonight about this that we're going to discuss a little bit. We're going to go around here. The first question, how can we begin to think in terms of everyone's happiness rather than individual happiness? Again, how can we begin to think in terms of everyone's happiness rather than individual happiness? And are we doing this just popcorn style? Yeah. So when you want to contribute, just open up your mic and just start talking.
Okay. I think I would like to say something. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I think to connect with others, one needs to be curious how they feel. So make questions about how they are and feel present. You know, one can feel the connection if you are present, if you actually got the right intentions to know that you care for others. Thank you.
Beautiful. Anybody else? Jacob has his hand up.
Yes. Well, I think we have to see the danger of continually clinging to the illusion that there's an I, a me, a self. And when we see the danger of that, then we'll be free of it. And in that freedom, there'll be togetherness, oneness. So the first step is being with what is. The what is that I'm under a delusion that there's a me, an individual, my soul, my life, my individuality. That individuality is inventing the illusion of division and separation, which inevitably leads to conflict. So can I just see the fact of that and see the danger, right, of this continually, clinging to my security blanket? I think it's my security blanket. It's actually multiplying, in fact, insecurity in daily life. But so can I see the danger? The very scene of the danger sets me free. And then in that freedom, there's oneness with all beings.
Yeah, that's a very true principle. That is very true. We are all connected, like the video was saying. And we have to realize that and quit thinking of ourselves as individuals, separate from everyone else. Anybody else?
Yeah, I think that our the issues that we're seeing they turn them as like the banking crisis was systematic, right? I think if we begin to understand that other people's happiness is in a direct relation to my happiness, there's benefit in that. And it's probably one of the only ways out of the issues that we're approaching.
I think that a lot of it has to do with the contribution. I mean, if I am here, I'm something, there's something that exists here. But I think that if I integrate and contribute to everyone around me and start caring for everyone around me like they are part of me, and I can't exist without them.
I'll add to Carl. It's so true. Just think, if I'm angry and I go into a crowd and everybody's angry, I'm thinking of myself. Actually, the crowd affects me. So if I think of the other people that I'm with and making them happy, it'll eventually come back to me, because my surroundings, the people I'm around, creates my happiness. It creates my reality. So why wouldn't I make my reality good? Because it's going to affect me in the end. It's kind of a selfish way, but in the end result, if everybody did that, you wouldn't have to worry about yourself at that point, because you'd be worrying about the next person, and they'd be worrying about the next person, and you would be engulfed in this whole happiness thing. So to come out of oneself and think of the people around you, and eventually it comes back to you, because a good society and a happy society makes my life better, actually.
Yes, I think it's true. I think it's mostly we projecting on others how we feel and how we think, because we only can see from where we're standing, from who we are. So we project onto others how we feel.
Yeah.
Go, Nina. Go.
That happens all the time. Nina and Elisa
Yeah.
always open their mics at the same time. It never fails.
I see that Jacob is writing in the chat that self-interest is destroying the world, and everyone is focused on me. And I agree that that's the problem, but how to come out of that mindset? I think that if we, like others are saying, if we start thinking in terms of we, and how much we affect each other. And if I feel taken care of by others, that even if I don't worry about myself, my own self-interest, I will be taken care of, then I can kind of be free from thinking about myself. Otherwise, I'm kind of programmed to think about myself. And I don't know how one would come out of that.
Maybe I'm just going to repeat. I know there's a problem on Facebook. They're not able to post the question, and I'm trying to get over there. But maybe I'll just read it out loud. Maybe Gary, you could read the question again for everybody on Facebook, if you would.
Yes, the question is, how can we begin to think in terms of everyone's happiness rather than individual happiness? And I'll put my 2 cents in here. If I walk into a room and I'm happy and everybody else in the room is unhappy, it's really, it brings me to unhappiness. So if I can make other people happy and change the mood around, imagine just through our connection together, the force that we can have of everyone being happy. If I'm concerned about all of you being happy and lifting your spirits, I think we can really make a huge difference in the world.
Yeah, you just gave me a great idea of a new startup that, to have people in all public spaces, like to have a group of happy people. Like, can you imagine that in a store you enter, there are people not just, looking what's grab and run away and be upset at each other, but they see happy people. This store will be always crowded, right? So that is how it should be. If we, affect each other and we want everyone around to be happy, then we need to transform this happiness, and not be involved in my own, feelings that I project on others. So if you want to participate in this startup, let me know, please.
Is there anybody else who hasn't had a chance to speak, want to say anything?
I could add, we have to remember a person is a product of the environment he lives in or he works in. just any environment you're in contact with, it's going to affect you, which means that if happiness is in the environment you live in, then you have the most chances then to be happy. So if your contribution is just for yourself, then it's not gonna last. Happiness that is shared is durable.
I think we're born with the ego. And most people during their lives don't know how to overcome that ego, to think about other people. And that's something we need to work on thinking of others rather than ourselves.
Is that everybody? Ilana, did you speak? Did you have anything to add?
I just would like to add, we need to change a mindset of people who don't think like we do, because lots of people out there who don't think so. So we somehow need to change their mindset and communicate to them about this. It would be very helpful.
Invite them to open diner, Ilana.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Invite them here to
okay.
open diner. We'll talk to them.
All right.
Can I add one thing quick?
Sure. Yeah.
I think that's really interesting what you said, Alana, because that has to do with the perspective. So, if my perspective is so closed in and just thinking about myself, my happiness, then it's very shallow. It's a perspective. If I open my perspective and
but unfortunately,
yeah.
Unfortunately, I've seen many people who don't have this mindset and don't have this attitude as we're talking about.
That's why we're doing this open diner.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to ask them to come, Ilana.
Okay, I will try. I don't know.
I'm kidding. I'm making a joke, but it would be good.
That's true. The thing we have to realize too is that, it's just like, what is the definition of happiness? It's, it can be a very shallow thing. It can be a very, just a temporary thing, or is it more a fulfillment of something a lot deeper? And I think that's the happiness that we really want to achieve. Happiness is kind of almost a superficial word to me to describe it, but there's a fulfillment that we reach together, I think, that will bring that kind of a happiness. We're going to go to our second question. How can we have accountability and stop blaming others for our unhappiness? Again, how can we have accountability and stop blaming others for our unhappiness?
I just want to pick up on what Ron said early on regarding the environment being influential. And so if your environment is negative, that you might find yourself being negative too. But in the end of the day, you only can answer for your own actions and feelings. You can't change others. You only can change yourself. So I think, talking from my own experience, I did a lot of grounding work, meditation, and tried to reconnect with myself in order to be able to service others. Because if I'm not happy, I know that it starts from myself, because our connection, it's intrinsic. We affect each other. So if I'm not happy, they say you smile and the world smiles with you. So you need to be smiling. You need to work on yourself to that stability, to be able to help others too. And so you have to be kind, not just to others, but to yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I have a comment, if I could, on YouTube. If that's okay. It's from Mega Patchon, if I said that right. Happiness, this is from the last question. I missed it, but I'd like to express it because he did share, or she. Individual happiness equals fleeting pleasure and that one is constantly chasing. However, the positive sensation felt in connection with others, doing for others, is more satisfying and easily renewable. So thank you. On YouTube, we just posted the second question. If you'd like to answer that, we'll read it also. Thank you.
I think a lot of it has to come down to how lazy I am. And if I start this, it's really easy to blame others. But if I start being accountable for my actions, and like Rono and Helena said, and start putting myself in the right environment of people, and then taking real action, doing things that will help make others happy. I think this is the best thing, one of the best things we can do.
See, the me thinks it's going to do it.
Go ahead, Jacob.
Me doesn't see itself. It doesn't see that it is the factor of division. So the me says, I'm going to go build bridges, right? But which is a wastage of energy, because had there been no division, there'd be no need to waste energy building bridges. So the me has to become aware of itself, right? It is everything you're thinking, everything you're saying, everything you're doing is contributing to division making, right? So can you be aware through self-awareness, see what you're doing, see what the me is doing to you, the human animal, right? You're a human animal under occupation by the psyche, the mind, the consciousness, your programming, right? It is acting like an inner tyrant. Can there be an awareness of that? See what it's doing. It's preventing relationships, right? By inventing the illusion of the me and the not me, out of which conflict, violence, suffering arise. Inevitably, no matter what you want or desire, you will, by your every action, contribute to the chaos, the disorder, right? No matter what your intention is, because the intention is coming from the division maker, the maker of illusion, the maker of divisions is saying, oh, I'm going to make things better. I'm going to be more kind. I'm going to be more good. I'm going to be more loving. I'm going to feel more connected to others. You see, it doesn't see itself. So can we see ourselves in a mirror? See the me, see the I, my beliefs, my identity, right? The identity structure. I'm talking about that thing called me. I'm not talking about the brain body, right? The human animal, which is sacred, right? It was creating the image of God or whoever, right? But thought didn't create it, right? Thought, being limited, invented the illusion of the me. The me is limited. It's the movement of limitation, finiteness. And it thinks it's going to bring harmony, wholeness. It cannot bring harmony and wholeness.
Jacob, can I interrupt you for a second? You have a lot of good stuff to say, really good stuff, but we need to give other people a chance, please.
No, I'm done.
I wanted to add to Jacob, actually, if that's okay. If we try something different, like you're saying, you're in a whole web and you keep going. No, this is not a conversation, but I'm just giving my opinion on this. If I'm constantly wrapped up in something that's bad or a bad situation, every day I wake up, everything stinks. To come into myself and say, okay, I'm doing something here that's causing this. This is where you come into the me and say, you know what, I'm going to change something today. I'm going to look at a different perspective. Instead of walking past somebody and saying nothing or not holding the door, I'm going to open the door and say, you know what, I'm going to change my reality by doing something different. So instead of blaming other people that things are bad, I start changing the world around me by doing good things, being kind and loving and acting differently. And I guarantee you, I say this to myself, I guarantee myself that I look at things differently because I'm starting within myself. That I know I cut Nina off. So go ahead, Nina. I know you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I agree with a lot of what Jacob said as well. In particular, that division cause and separation cause all the unhappiness, and connection. It's scientifically proven. The more happy relationships we have in our lives, fulfilling relationships, the happier we are, and the more lonely people, the higher the suicide rate, and so on. So coming back to the question of accountability, I'm accountable for the relationships that I create, and I have to. I think we need to raise our expectations of ourselves and lower our expectations from other people. Try to judge other people on a scale of merit, and ourselves think, what can I do more? How can I improve? How can I grow? And how can I give to my relationships? How can I contribute more? And I'm responsible for the relationships that I cultivate.
It's true. We're running out of time here. We're gonna have to move on, but I did just want to throw in that it is the ego that always blames others for our unhappiness. We don't want to take responsibility for that. We always want to blame somebody else or some other situation. And it's just a state of our mind. It's just a state of our being. And we can change that. So I think we can change the environment that we're in just by our intentions and our desire to do so. So that was a very lively discussion. I must say, it was great. It was really fun. It's very special today. But right now we're going to move on to our dessert. And I'm going to turn this over to Roberta again.
Okay, so now we're back to it. Now we're going to do something fun. We're going to relax. We had a great conversation. So we're going to change our environment by doing this traditional connection exercise. It's our open diner chair dance. We do it every week. It's a lot of fun. The purpose of it is to be happy together and to connect. The way it works is kind of like follow the leader, meaning that we have fun to the music that we're going to play, and one person at a time is displayed on the screen. When you come up on the screen, do a dance move, anything. Do this, anything you want to do. Peace, love, right? Linda, back to the 60s. Just something with your arms is okay. And everyone's going to copy your move. When others are displayed on the screen, you follow their move. When it's your turn, a text box comes up on the screen. It's just telling you that you're being spotlighted. Ignore that. Don't read it, otherwise you're going to miss your turn. So let's get loose. Let's have some fun. This is a great way to connect with each other and lift our spirits. So let's hear some music. Let's try this. Let's see what we have. Okay.
How to give
right, that was very energetic tonight. I think everybody let everything out as we went. And now we did it in music and song. So great job, everybody. A lot of new moves, and that was great. So now we're going to have a nice exercise we're going to do. Not this way, but really this way from the heart. So now we're going to have an opportunity to make each other happy. So we're going to choose one participant and then tell something with a heartfelt intention and make them happy. So one person is going to pick another person, say something to make them happy. It could be anything, as long as your intention is to make them happy. Try to do it from the bottom of your heart. And then that person chooses someone else that didn't get a wish, you could say, or something of happiness. So I will start just to get the gist of it. Let me get my gallery view up. I would like to make, I want to make Jacob happy. I want to thank you for coming here tonight. You do speak from your heart, and you really did say such good things. And I so glad you came. I know you were here last week. You had to leave early, if I'm correct. But thank you for coming, and I wish you the best week ever. And you have a lot of wisdom. Thank you. So if you could pick somebody else, Jacob, that would be great. You just have to mute.
Pick somebody else for what?
Just to make them happy. I was trying to make you happy. Did I make you happy?
Well, I was already happy.
Well, I made you happier, I hope.
No, you can't be happier.
Well,
Happier
okay.
happiness has no levels.
Listen, you're overflowing with abundance of happiness.
You can make
happiness.
someone less miserable. That's what you can do.
So
you can make someone
pick someone here, anyone here, and make them happy or less miserable, if you'd like to say.
No, you can't make anyone. You cannot make anyone happy. Happiness comes from within. It doesn't come from outside. No one can take away your happiness, and no one can give you happiness. It comes from within.
Well, pretend for 5 seconds and just,
exactly.
Just keep the flow going.
If you don't want to play, that's fine. Just
in other words,
no, that's okay. We're going to make people happy. Would you like to?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so we wish you the best, Jacob. Really, thank you for coming. I'd like to wish Helena for coming here. I wish you the best week. You really participated. You participated in the dance. You participated everything you said, and I wish you a great week. And I hope you have a happy week and life and everything. So if you'd like to pick somebody else and make them happy, that'd be great.
Thank you so much. I'll choose Carl, and I'll say to you, you are unique. You are precious, and that's what makes you a special human being.
Oh my God, you just made my year. You did make me happier. I have to admit, you made me happier. Jacob, I don't want to hear it. Elisa, you are also so precious. And you told us how to pronounce your name tonight. And I think I just did pronounce it correctly. So with a name like Elisa, you're going to be the happiest person alive.
Oh, thank you so much, Carl. Thank you. Hard to speak after this. You made me really, really, really happy. Thank you. And this happiness will stay, I have to say. This is a promise. And I hope I will make Elena happy, because I know after this evening, all those people who have a different view, and they will change. You will see them differently, because they will see your happiness, your internal beauty, and they will change too.
Thank you very much, Alisa. It really makes me feel good and happier. Thank you. I would like to make happier Roberta, because I really enjoy your conversation, your leading this group, and what you're saying, your thoughts. It's very interesting, and I wish you all the best in your week and in your life. And I think you're also very precious, and all the best to you.
I appreciate that. Who didn't get a happiness stamp? All right. Actually, I'll give it to Dan. Dan, You're a great guy. You always add so much. You always have a nice smile. Even if you're from Canada with your beautiful accent, eh? Right? As you always say, eh? So I wish you the best, and I hope you're happy. Whatever wishes you have this week of happiness, may they come true. Truly, because you add a lot to all of us here in Open Diner every week, and you make us happy. So we will wish the best for you in return.
Thanks, Roberta. That makes me feel great. Gary, that video was very well edited. I thought it was beautiful. I really thought it was a work of art, and I'm always impressed what you're able to develop for the group here. And I just wanted to let you know that I really appreciate it, and so does everybody else. So I hope that makes you more happy.
Why, thank you. I was surprised too at what comes out. So yes, thank you. I would like to turn my attention to Rono, because I think one of the best things is seeing Rono smile and laugh. He's always like just kind of hiding behind his hand there, but I think there's nothing better than seeing Rono laugh and smile, and I want to see more of it. So thank you, Rono. You're beautiful.
Thanks, Gary. I'm not hiding behind my hand, but it's comfortable that way because of I'm lazy. That's why it's easier to rest my head in my head in my hand than doing anything else. I wanted to give a heartfelt compliment to Nina. To most people who don't know how Open Diner is put together, it's a miracle thanks to Nina's commitment. And she's able to not just commit herself to putting it together, helping, manage the team, but also juggle her own private life at the same time. She was involved in drama right before this meeting. She was still able to, just make everything fit, help a friend, and commit to Open Diner at the same time. So thank God for you, Nina.
Thank you, Rona. Yeah, today was a little bit of a crazy day, but it all works out when you want it to. Linda, right? I don't think Linda, our wonderful Linda, didn't get anything yet. What can I wish you? I know how much it means to you to spend time with your family. I know you have sons and grandchildren, and you always talk about how you love spending time with them. And I also know that where you live, it's extremely cold right now. So I'm wishing you the greatest warmth from spending time with your amazing family, and the warmth of connection, being surrounded by the people you love and who love you greatly.
Thank you, Nina.
Did anybody not go?
No, I don't
Did
think
anybody not get a wish or compliment? I think we all went.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was a lot of fun, and this was beautiful, actually. Let's hope we take this all to next week, right, Gary?
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody that you can follow us on, we're going to put up the links here. You can follow us on Facebook, Meetbook, Facebook, Meetup, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Click like and subscribe on all of those. Follow us. More importantly, share with friends. You can go to YouTube and see all of the past events there. It's a great place to see all of how far we've come. This is our 91st event tonight. And you can RSVP to upcoming events on Facebook and Meetup. And back to you, Roberta.
Okay, thank you. I thought there was new social medias there for a second. He said, I don't know what you said, but it was, I got to listen to the recording. That was funny. But yes, do what Gary said. But next Thursday, like he said, it's the 91st, so next week's 92nd. Next Thursday, we're having a special pre-Valentine's Day event about true love. And the following Thursday, the 17th, we're going to have another deep conversation What is spirituality and who is God? That should be interesting. We'll cover these topics based on ancient wisdom of Kabbalah, which is not a religion, of course. As usual, you're invited and encouraged to attend and invite your friends. You'll find the invites for these events and all our events on Meetup and Facebook. Please RSVP, follow, subscribe, and you'll be notified of all our events. We hope to see you next Thursday. Bring your friends, spread the word. And we have a lot of good topics, a lot of good conversations here. So we're always looking, like Gary said, YouTube, Facebook, check out all the past events. And I want to thank everybody for joining and taking part. Please continue to join us every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. We'll be here. So if you want to come, we're here. Please do. Thank you, everybody. This was a great night.
It was amazing.
Everyone.
Yeah, it was cool. Very good.
Very fun.
Have a
Bye,
lovely
Max.
week.
Okay,
Bye.
everyone is
Bye.
Nice to
Bye.
meet you. Come back
Nice to
again.
meet you.
Yes.
Thank
please.
you, friends.
See you next Thursday.
Till then.